Chenette, guinep, ackee, whatever you call these. When is the last, well, I'm based in Canada, they're falling off the branch now, but when's the last time you've had these? I came across this at a local grocery store here, so you don't have to pick it up. And while I wanted to show you all how to make two other recipes, a juice and a jam with it, today we're going to do a chow. And all you want to do is give this a really good wash, because what's going to happen is I'm just going to take them all off the stems. We're going to break these open, and we want to collect the juice as well. It's funny how they would bring it with the stems and the leaves and everything else. Uncle Chris paid money for all that nonsense, yeah? But you want to give it a good rinse. I'm going to rinse it a few times, drain that water out, and then I'll show you how we're going to proceed. So here we are, nice and clean. Typically as a kid growing up, you would just put this into your mouth, grab it with the teeth, split it open, and then you would suck on the seeds on the inside. If this is a fruit that's new to you, all we're doing is splitting it, and there it is. Yeah, you're gonna take off that little sort of top part there, and it's like a jelly, and there's a hard seed on the inside. So all I'm gonna do is pop that out and into the bowl where we're making, and all I'm using is my fingernail to sort of pierce the skin, and boom, in there. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue. You all don't need to see me continue doing this. As I continue breaking them open, I think it's important that we share a little tip here. If these were fresh off the tree, the sort of stain or the sort of liquid that would come out of the stems, even the Chenette itself, if it got in contact with your Sunday best, with your clothes, potentially it can stain it. My brother and I, we got into real problems with mommy during Chenette season, when we would stain up all our clothes to the point where we'd take off we'd take off our jersey when we when we were eating Chenette, just not to get into problems with the lady. Yes, but anyhow, we're just continuing. Yeah, and this is why I said it's important that you wash them first, because some of them, you know, if you get, and these are small compared to the ones I grew up with, they can be a lot bigger, twice the size of this, and very juicy as well. So you'd collect some of that juice in there. Again, this is what's available to me here in Canada. And if you've seen one of my chow videos, you've pretty much, they will all seem the same. I try to add a little bit of extra flavor or a different flavor every time that I do it. And this is why this time I'm using the smoked paprika or pimenton. I love this Spanish version of this. And I'm not gonna add too much, just to add a little bit of smokiness to things. Again, not much. Full recipe, printable, will be available as always on CaribbeanPot.com. So we went in with that salt, the smoked paprika, pimenton. I want some fresh ground black pepper. You know, and as a kid growing up on the islands, we kept it simple. A bit of lime juice, some shadow benny, garlic, and, you know, salt and the Scotch bonnet pepper, because from a kid, I enjoyed spicy stuff. If you don't want to do it spicy and you have access to pimento or seasoning peppers, it will give it the flavor of a Scotch bonnet without that raw heat. Got a couple cloves of garlic, as I indicated earlier, so just gonna crush that garlic straight in there. I'm gonna do the other one. Gonna scrape that in here. And again, speaking about chow, there is probably 8 to 12 different chow recipes I have on CaribbeanPot.com. The lime juice, if you don't have access to lime, lemon will work as well too. And all I'm doing is squeezing that directly in here, and that acid is going to help cure, sort of help with the marination process. Yes, I would allow this to marinate for about 20 minutes or so in the fridge before you jump in. I mean, it'll be hard. Feel like it's spicy. Sometimes it's hard to hold yourself off. I just had to run out to the garden to pick some of these leaves here. And a chow, any chow, doesn't matter which chow you're making, it needs bandania or shadow benny. Some of you call it culantro. If you cannot source this, of course, cilantro or coriander will be a good replacement. Time for that shadow benny that we harvested in the backyard. And of course, the last thing is that finely chopped Scotch bonnet pepper. I use 3/4 of a pepper, but you can use as much as you like. I'm just going to scrape down all of that seeds and everything. because I'm not big and bold like that. Yeah, all you want to do now, and if you want to add a couple tablespoons of water, which I will do, so let me just grab some water just to be able to have everything come together once I give it a nice stir. You know, and all you need to do is give that a stir, and you see the nice pieces of garlic in there, that shadow benny, the salt. You know, everything plays a part in this, and in my humble opinion, without that lime juice, this will not taste the same. Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com, another chow recipe. This time we use what in Trinidad and Tobago we call Chenette. In other countries they call it guinep. In some places they even call it ackee. Guyana, raise your hand. I believe you all call it ackee. If you have a different name for this fruit, please drop a comment down below. I'd love to know that name and where you're from. Let it sit in the fridge 20 minutes. Enjoy. Yo, it's summertime. Enjoy this outside. And remember, there's a big seed in there, so be mindful of that. And you see this elixir at the bottom here, and we've talked about this several times. Oh man, my brother and I were just we want that. We're drinking that like tonic. And coincidentally, my middle daughter Taya, she does the same thing now as well too, following in her father and uncle's footsteps. Anyhow, I'm gone.